source, whether it be
Yeah,
food
that's a great.
or whether it be as in
Heat.
us. Yeah, well,
Heat.
food and juice create heat
Yeah.
within you, within a body.
Yeah.
So, yeah, an energy source as in food, and then also as in animals, they need oxygen. Plants obviously don't need oxygen; they need carbon dioxide. So, whatever, I don't know what you call that.
Yeah, the elements.
The basics: you need food, you need water, oxygen.
Yeah, they're really good answers, yeah. So that's the number one thing that we look for when we're searching if life could exist somewhere. Do they have a solvent? So what our solvent is water. A solvent is something that's liquid. So we need liquid water to survive. Everything on Earth does. So what we look for on other planets is what solvents they could be, and it might not necessarily be water. It could be liquid methane.
Some kind of food or something that they can use up to have energy, or to, like, not everything breathes obviously, but to get to survive, to need an energy source, and possibly, I imagine most things need some form of liquid.
Yeah, that's perfect. So that.
Well, I think if it does exist, then it's not going to be like we see in the movies. It'll either be sort of single-celled, maybe organisms, microscopic sort of life.
Yeah.
And maybe if higher intelligent life had existed, it's either died out or hasn't evolved yet.
Or hasn't made contact with us. Is this in our solar system?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be bacteria.
Yeah. So you don't think like the stuff you see in movies? Do you think that that's possible? Do you think that that's a good depiction? No.
No, I think it's more like, say there would be a meteorite with like a bacteria or atoms on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's true. That's correct. Like when we think of alien life, that's very good. We don't think of the stuff we see in movies. We do think of stuff like single cell organisms like bacteria. That's a great answer. Very good. If there is aliens, what do you think an alien might look like?
Well, I'm not really into kind of space movies. I wouldn't have seen one, but I like the last one that I can remember would be probably E.T., but obviously that's made up.
Yes.
And so there probably is some form of life, but it's not going to be a creature with legs and arms or some kind of microorganism.
Yeah, that's a very good answer. So we do think that it's probably not likely that in our solar system anyway that there's aliens with like legs or arms, and it's definitely a lot more possible that there's actually some sort of microorganism. Yeah. Apart from on Earth, what do you think?
In our solar system, nothing like as we see in movies, but microscopic organisms.
Yeah, that's possible.
On planets we haven't really got a closer look at.
Yeah. So do you know maybe what planets that we've been looking at, or we think if there is life out there, it could be here?
Maybe I know there was traces of water that were not water, but where water was once on Mars.
Has existed. I don't know. I don't know enough about the solar system to give you an answer.
Do you think it could be possible?
Look, anything's possible. Yeah,
But
scientists have told us that there's a possibility that life may have been on Mars at some point. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is there asteroids or meteors orbiting the sun in the Goldilocks zone like Earth?
Mm-hmm.
Is there life on them? Maybe.
Yep.
It's a possibility.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's one of the things we look at. That's one of the worrying things about asteroids is the fact that they could have life on them, maybe bacteria, viruses that we don't have any antibiotics for or any.
But it's unlikely that the asteroids meteors floating around in space that's going to come in contact with Earth that Earth hasn't had a similar impact from in the past, like meteors in history that have hit Earth.
Yep.
The chances are, whatever, you know, if there's something out there, it's probably been here already.
Maybe, yeah. I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay.
So you think that, yeah, it's possible that there could have been life on Mars? That's what you, from what science?
I'm only basing that on newspaper reports and things like that.
Yep.
I don't actually know.
Yeah, so that's what scientists are currently looking at Mars.
Yeah.
Because we know that with Mars we think that it's definitely possible that life could have existed or does exist on Mars, because we've actually recently we found, let's say, like bacteria and cells in Antarctica, and we call them extremophiles, and if they're surviving at such low temperatures like negative 15 degrees in Antarctica, we think, oh well, these could possibly survive on Mars. And there's other bacteria that thrives in salty conditions that we didn't think anything could ever thrive, and it's possible that they could also survive on Mars.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't rule it out, but there's no two-legged aliens on Mars. It's unlikely.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, like life, like define life.
Well, that's what your first question was.
Yeah.
Or no, not your first question.
Well,
Good, yeah. All right.
so yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Mom.
So as far as misconceptions, I feel the biggest misconception for me was when it came to the question, what does life need to survive? People didn't realise how important a liquid solvent is. I think people think that water is just used for hydration, and not that it is so many more uses when it comes to chemical reactions in our bodies and in life in general. Another thing was how important a heat source is, so how important the sun is, and to be in the habitable zone from the sun. So I did explain that both points to the audience. I explained how lucky we are that Earth is in the Goldilocks zone, and it is just there's so much water on Earth, so how lucky we are as well. So my opinion, so what does life need to survive? Well, the big three is elements, so such as carbon, oxygen or nitrogen. They need a heat source, whether that be from tidal heating, from the sun, and from radioactive decaying. And they also need a solvent, a liquid solvent, whether that be water or maybe liquid methane or ethane. So, and then what is my perception of alien life? I think it's clear from the videos. I do think that if it does exist, it's definitely microscopic organisms, and whether that be possibly, something like bacteria. And is there life in our solar system? I think that it's definitely possible. I think that, the subsurface oceans in Mars, they could definitely host, whether it's extremophiles such as halophiles or psychrophiles, and also life could exist on moons such as Jupiter's Europa or Saturn's Titan. Thank you. So when it came to the first question, it was very interesting that people didn't realise how important a liquid solvent was, and how important a source of energy was for us being the sun, and just how special that Earth is, that we have both in abundance, that we're both in the habitable zone of the sun, and that we have water in abundance. When it came to the second question, it was very surprising that everybody thought that if life did exist, that it wouldn't depict that of science fiction films. What was really surprising was when interviewing Fionn, who is 11 years of age, he even thought that if life does exist, it would exist as microscopic organisms. When it came to the third question, the majority of people did think that life could exist in our solar system outside of Earth. Or life has existed, and whether that be on Mars, Titan or Europa, which was also surprising.